Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuranvalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees. This morning we were discussing the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, at the age of 5, chanted the holy name of Lord Vasudeva with the inspiration of Mother Suniti and with the instruction of Narada Muni. He was chanting the holy name of Vasudeva, this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra. He was chanting for 6 months and he received rare benedictions from the Lord and the darshan of the Lord at such a tender age. And as he grew up, he took up the responsibility of the kingdom of his father Uttanapad, and he was righteously ruling. And when his brother Uttama was unceremoniously killed by a yaksha, Dhruva Maharaj went to punish the yakshas. And he was confused. Initially, he was able to fight with great determination, and he could defeat this 130,000 yakshas who just ran away from the battlefield. Then these yakshas came back with greater force. They created some magical illusions that completely bewildered and confused Dhruva Maharaj. He just could not do anything. So in such a predicament, some great Vaishnava sages came to rescue Dhruva Maharaj by reminding him the holy name of Narayana. Please remember holy name of Narayana and release Narayanastra to dispel all these illusions. Then Dhruva Maharaj released Narayanastra and dispelled all the illusions. So we were drawing some parallels between this episode of Dhruva Maharaj and one's own sadhaka life. Whenever we are bewildered by Maya, whenever Maya presents so many temptations and allurements and distractions, only devotees come to our rescue and remind us to take shelter of the holy names of the Lord and thus we can come out of the allurement of Maya. And later, Dhruva Maharaj now settled down nicely. He dispelled all the delusions and he continued to fight with the yakshas. But again, he was little distracted from within. Initially, Dhruva Maharaj's distraction or confusion or bewilderment was because of some external forces. Yakshas were attacking from outside. But later, Dhruva Maharaj was able to manage. He tolerated and he counteracted the obstacles presented by the yakshas externally. But at one stage in the fight, he had to deal with the internal distractions, internal problems. He became a victim of his own excessive anger. Hare Krishna. Ishwarana Satyanandana Swami Maharaj ki jai. Hari Hari. Hari Bol. That bottle. Hare Krishna. Initially, Dhruva Maharaj had to deal with the difficulties presented by the yakshas externally. Later, Dhruva Maharaj had to deal with his own lack of self-control. Internally, he was getting excessively angry. He lost discrimination, he lost discretion. Just for one yaksha's mistake, he was killing all the yakshas. So, in our sadhaka life also, in the initial days, we have to fight with the obstacles presented by the external world. So many people, sometimes family members also, sometimes the society. So many external forces will create so many obstacles for our enthusiasm to subscribe to the devotional path and follow this devotional path. But after some time, after practicing bhakti for some time, all the external forces will calm down, internal forces will begin. Right? So how many of you had some objections from your family members when you took up to bhakti? Here, I had. Many of us had. But because they were saying no, we want to say yes. Sometimes their obstacles also, instead of discouraging us, will invoke our fighting spirit and no, I will do. Don't go to temple. I will go to temple. Don't associate with Hare Krishnas. I will associate with them. So there is some adventurous spirit. There is a newness in the experience. There is freshness in the experience. Mangalarti is new. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is new. Tulsi Arati is new. Sitting with 100 devotees is new. Deities are new. Dhams are new. Yatras are new. Bhagavatam is new. All the pastimes of Bhagavatam are new for a beginner in Krishna consciousness. But over a period of time, we become familiar with everything. At least most of the things. We went to few Vrindavana Yatras, few Mayapur Yatras, few other dhams we visited. We have been chanting 16 notes for a while. And we have known many devotees. We have worked with them, we served with them, we worked under them. And we have seen deities of multiple temples. We read most of the pastimes and we have heard most of the pastimes. After all this newness and adventurous spirit is over, then the real struggle begins. So then internally the mind will start meditating on the previous pleasures. I have already experienced all yatras, mangalartis, pastimes, holy name, mantras. But anything new? Same thing you have to do whole life. Same mantra you have to chant whole life. Same dhams you have to go. Every Kartik Yatra, same Damodar Leela. Same Govardhan Leela. same pastimes. So then something inside, some material part of our heart inside desires for something new. Then one may become little excessively aggressive in exploring different venues to keep oneself excited. Some of them may not be very devotional. Some of them may seem apparently devotional, but they may be inherently non-devotional. Although the activity may be devotional, the intent behind doing that activity may not be devotional. After 10 years also one may study the same episode, but this time the intent is little different. I want to squeeze out some speculative lessons and then excite people. I have to add some masala and then jokes and then enthuse people. Make them laugh so that I can get some claps. Or many other adventures. So let's not discuss examples of all that. So in short, the enthusiasm that a sadhaka may show in the initial days of Krishna consciousness could be because of the freshness of the experience or the newness of this adventure, but over a period of time our real taste will be revealed to us, and how much are we committed to follow the same path for a long time. And sometimes one may become little susceptible to different anarthas who are still lingering within the heart or sleeping within the heart, and Maya will present a bigger test at that time. So yakshas kind of became weak. So yakshas could not fight back with Dhruva Maharaj. He was able to defeat them easily. Similarly, gross distractions in spiritual life may not affect a seasoned sadhaka. But what affected Dhruva Maharaj during the fight is the internal distraction. He became a victim of anger unknowingly. So what could attack a seasoned sadhaka may not be some external allurement. He may not still be meditating on eating meat or wearing a colorful dress, new hairstyles, what the excitements they had earlier. That may not disturb a person. So one is happy with the Vaishnava attire and Vaishnava lifestyle externally, but internally some other excitement will creep in, some other desires will creep in. Desire for name, fame, prestige, public attention, many other things. That is also Maya, another form of Maya. There is gross lust, there is subtle lust. So as one spends more time, one has to, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Madhya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, one has to be careful about the weeds. Along with the devotional creeper, some weeds also keep growing. So as a cultivator of this crop, we have to pluck out the weeds also time to time to keep the nourishment going to the Bhakti Lata only. The fourth canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam gives a beautiful analogy. Prabhupada gives in one purport. In the Pruthu episode, I think. He says, two analogies. Let me present both. Just imagine there is a beautiful drinking water lake in a village, and that is meant for good purposes where people can drink that water, and that water can be used to nourish crops and some plants that give flowers and fruits. But if some poisonous plants and unnecessary grasses grow on the bank of that lake, they may suck away all this water which is meant for better purposes. Similarly, if we don't use that water of our consciousness, if we don't engage that water, pure drinking water of our consciousness in Krishna conscious activities like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, that consciousness may be sucked away by these poisonous plants and unnecessary weeds that grow on the bank of the lake. What are these unnecessary weeds? This desire for sense gratification, name, fame, adoration, and all the other external stuff, adventurous spirit, this and that. So one has to ensure that while engaging in the 9 practices of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, one has to also protect oneself from being distracted by other allurements presented by Maya. They are more serious. The 10th canto of Bhagavatam gives another analogy. In the 10th canto, 20th chapter, Sukadeva Goswami describes monsoon in Vrindavan. We are in winter in Vrindavan. There is monsoon in Vrindavan. Sukadeva Goswami presents so many life lessons while describing various features of monsoon in Vrajabhumi. He says, during monsoon there is profuse quantity of rain falling from the sky. And the farmer has to raise mud banks on all four sides of the crop to retain all this water for the plants within this field, rice field. Whenever there is excessive water, he will just keep some opening in this mud bank, and from there the excess water will come. But when the monsoon becomes autumn, water will not come from the sky as profusely as it used to be in monsoon. Then what will he do? He will close the mud bank. He will close that opening so that all this water is within the field only. It doesn't come out. So just as this farmer is so careful to ensure that all the water in the field goes to the plants only, similarly a sadhaka also has to ensure that all our consciousness goes on Krishna related activities only. Whether it is Bhagavatam or chanting or Vaishnava Seva or any other devotional activities. But if that consciousness is allowed to get diverted in many other unnecessary things, then the water that is supposed to go to the plant will not go. Plant will not get the nourishment. Bhakti Lata will not get that nourishment. So these are various examples presented by Prabhupada's purports and Srimad-Bhagavatam, that as we are spending more and more time in the path of bhakti, we need to be a little more careful about the subtle anarthas or subtle material distractions that might creep into our bhakti path. That's what we can learn from Dhruva's episode. We can learn many other things, but these are a few reflections. When Dhruva Maharaj was not troubled by the yakshas anymore, he was troubled by his own anger later. Then also Swayambhu Manu came and said, "Hey, stop, you are being excessively angry." Earlier the problem was caused by yakshas, later the problem was caused by his own lack of self-control. So similarly in our bhakti path also, sometimes problems come from outside, sometimes come from inside also. In both cases, only devotees will rescue us. In both cases, only holy name can rescue us. Only taking shelter of Krishna, Sharanagati of Krishna will rescue us. Initially the determination is high. We need to just maintain the determination to protect ourselves from other allurements, whether they come from inside or outside. In the Mukundamala Stotra there is a beautiful shloka. One of our friends is saying, this morning he did not quote a single shloka. He's saying it's a historic class, you didn't quote a shloka. So let me not give you another historic class now. There's a beautiful shloka in the Mukundamala Stotra where Kulashekara Alvar says, Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi Shri Krishna padambujan Nindantu priya bandhava gurujana Grihnantu munchantu va Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja Vamshe kalankostu va Tadrik priyamadharanu raga madhuna Mattayamanam tume. This shloka says, despite all kinds of obstacles, whether external, internal, generally external in this shloka, a devotee is rooted in Krishna consciousness. Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi. Let my mind not get distracted from Krishna, Krishna's lotus feet, even for one moment. Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi Sri Krishna padambujan. What can distract our consciousness? What can divert our consciousness from Sri Krishna padambuja? Nindantu priya bandhava gurujana grihnantu munchantu va. Nindantu. Sometimes a devotee is criticized. By whom? Bandhava, one's own relatives will criticize. In Prahlad Maharaj's case, his own relatives criticized, his own father criticized him. Nindantu priya bandhava. His teachers, Shanda and Namarka, criticized him. Gurujana grihnantu munchantu va. Sometimes our family members and superiors and elders and society may accept us or may not accept us. Right? But Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi Sri Krishna padambujan Nindantu priya bandhava gurujana grihnantu munchantu va. Let them accept me or let them reject me, but I will not give up Krishna. Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja vamshe kalankostu va. Durvada means gossip. Let people gossip about me. Let people spread rumors about me. Prahlad Maharaj, when he was doing Hari Bhakti, so many rumors were spreading on Prahlad Maharaj. Oh, that son of king of demons became a devotee of the enemy of demons, Hari. This Prahlad is giving up Hiranyakashipu and taking shelter of Hari. So such a shame. Such a humiliating experience. Where will Hiranyakashipu hide his face? If some demon says, your own son is worshipping your enemy Hari. What a shame, what a shame. Hiranyakashipu is feeling very ashamed, very embarrassed. And there is gossip in this kingdom. People are commenting, Prahlad Maharaj, what are you doing? You are worshipping Hari. Nobody in the kingdom of Hiranyakashipu is worshipping Hari. Either voluntarily or enthusiastically or because of being threatened, nobody is worshipping Hari. Even the devotees are also saying Hira, Hira, Hiranyakashipu, not Hari, Hari. Right? Even sun and moon also, they are moving according to the movements of the eyebrows of Hiranyakashipu. If it is like this, sun has to reduce his temperature to give him some warmth, not so much heat. Moon has to change his temperature. Without tilling the lands, earth has to offer all kinds of vegetables and grains. So without exploring or without diving deep, the ocean has to present all the jewels to Hiranyakashipu. Please, they are my offerings. Tax for you. So entire universe is submitting to Hiranyakashipu, and here is one little kid, 5-year-old child, saying, no, I will not say Hira, Hira, I will say Hari, Hari. Right? And there is gossip about him. Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja vamshe kalankostu va. Vamshe kalanka, some people criticized Hiranyakashipu. His own teacher Shanda and Namarka criticized Prahlad Maharaj, saying that you are bringing Vamsha kalanka. Vamsha means dynasty. Kalanka means a bad reputation. So, you are born in such a great dynasty of demons, which is like a sandalwood forest, but you are acting like a handle to the axe that cuts that sandalwood trees in the forest. That axe is Vishnu, handle is Prahlad Maharaj. So with this axe, the sandalwood forest is being cut. That's how he is criticized. Vamshe kalankostava, as if it is Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha, or some other Vamsha, in which, some other dynasty in which Lord Krishna has appeared. So it's a demon dynasty. But still, demons are proud of their dynasty. And they are thinking that there is a devotee in our dynasty, that means he is a Vamsha Kalanka. Our dynasty is like it's a clean white cloth, and Prahlad is like a black mark on this. They were thinking like that. Gossip about him. Durvadam parighoshayantu banuja vamshe kalankostu va. Tadrik premadharanu raga madhuna mattayamanam tumi. But Prahlad was experiencing prema, love of Krishna within his heart. He was experiencing the embrace of Krishna, Govinda Parirambhita. He was experiencing that embrace of Krishna. And also, the 7th chapter of 5th canto of Bhagavatam describes that Prahlad Maharaj is naturally attracted to Krishna, just as iron particle is naturally attracted to magnet. This morning at the foothills of Govardhan, His Holiness Satyananda Swami Maharaj is quoting That shloka of Rupa Goswami from Padyavali. Just like young boys and young girls are naturally attracted to each other, spontaneously attracted to each other for sense gratification, some physical attraction. Similarly, a devotee also aspires to get naturally attracted to Krishna, just like iron particles naturally get attracted to magnet. So Prahalad Maharaj's attraction is like that. So when we are developing that attraction, in the beginning days, outside forces try to demotivate us, discourage us, distract us, deviate us from the path, but we are fixed up. But more dangerous than this phase of spiritual life is when we are little more seasoned, when we are little more experienced, then the internal distractions overwhelm us. So somehow we pass through the phase of being fixed up in the practice despite so many external distractions. But the next challenge is when internal distractions are there, we need to be still fixed up in the practice. So what facilitates that being fixed up in this practice? Devotees, holy name. Same solution. Whether the problem is new or old, problem is for a new, beginner bhakta or a seasoned bhakta, Shravanam, Kirtanam are the only solutions. Ichhata makato bhayam, Harer namanu Kirtanam. That's the only solution. Harer nama eva kevalam. Kalau nastyeva gatiranyatha. There is no other gati. Holy name is the only way. And that holy name, when chanted in the association of devotees, inspired by the devotees, that will carry greater potency. So they will remind us, devotees will remind us, when we are chanting together, when we are dozing off, somebody will wake up, Prabhu, get up. Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So chanting in the association of devotees. Yesterday we were discussing yesterday evening, Vaishnava Seva and Nama Kirtan. So be in touch with Vaishnavas, serve them, and also chant the holy names. So these are some lessons that we can learn from Dhruva's episode, and Maharaj requested to speak a little bit about the role of holy name in Dhruva Maharaj's story towards the end of his life. In this way, Dhruva Maharaj ruled the kingdom for 36,000 years. And when exactly during this 36,000 years this Yaksha killed Uttama, I don't know. I don't remember reading it anywhere or hearing it anywhere. But somewhere in the middle of his life it happened, after he became the king. After he got married, he got some children, someday it happened. So he ruled for 36,000 years and he retired, he went to Badrikashram. There were so many yogis there. He associated with them. He did some Ashtanga yoga practice. Then, suddenly one day, Vaikuntha airplane came. Now, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur in his purports to 4th canto 12th chapter, he writes that why did Dhruva Maharaj do some Ashtanga yoga practice in his last days? He had that question. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says he never had any time to do Ashtanga yoga. Just because many other yogis are there who are prominently the followers of Ashtanga yoga, just to be with them, just to maintain some compatibility with them, he just did for 1 or 2 days. But he did not have time to do Ashtanga yoga. He is so absorbed in Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Chakravarti clarifies it. Although in Bhagavatam, there are descriptions where several devotees like Prithu Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, many of them, it's described that they have left the bodies in a yogic way, or they did some kind of Ashtanga practice in the end of their life. No, it seems like that apparently, because it's a popular practice in those days, in those yugas. They apparently seem to practice that, but actually they read Sravanam Kirtanam if they're pure devotees. So suddenly one day, this Vaikuntha airplane comes to take Dhruva Maharaj back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha Loka. Then Dhruva Maharaj was surprised, was shocked. Of course, he heard 36,000 years back that Vaikuntha airplane will come to take him. Actually, he will go to Vaikuntha. Other details are not given. But still, when it came, he was a bit shocked, or little anxious or tensed, or He did not know what to do exactly. He was puzzled. That's the right word. He was puzzled. So in such a quote-unquote positively confused state of mind, in that shock, in that puzzling period, he did not know what to do. He just chanted the holy names of the Lord. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Prabhupada writes a brilliant purport. He says whether it is in happiness or distress, whether you know what to do or you don't know what to do, all you need to do is chant the holy names of the Lord. Maybe we can read that purport. Someone has Veda-based folio on your smartphone or laptop or iPad or 4th canto, 12th chapter. It comes somewhere in 20s. I don't exactly remember the number. It's a shloka where Vaikuntha airplane descends and Dhruva Maharaj sees them and he gets puzzled. And Prabhupada writes a brilliant purport saying that devotee always chants the holy names of the Lord. He describes the significance of chanting. Gauranga Prabhu, you found something? Let's read it. Very beautiful purport. You gave me you're like Hanuman. When he did not find Sanjeevani herb, he got the whole mountain. He's giving the whole Veda base to me. No. I want the specific purport. Huh?
It's a 7th chapter. You didn't mention the verse, no?
I said 12th chapter. Yeah. Got it. Thank you. Prabhupada writes, I'm reading Prabhupada's purport. Chanting of the holy names of the Lord is perfect in every way. When Dhruva Maharaj saw the Vishnu Dutas, the direct associates of Lord Vishnu, four-handed and nicely decorated, he could understand who they were, but for the time being he was puzzled. But simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, he could satisfy the uncommon guests who had all of a sudden arrived before him. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord is perfect. Even though one does not know how to please Lord Vishnu or his associates, simply by sincerely chanting the holy name of the Lord, everything becomes perfect. A devotee, therefore, either in danger or in happiness, constantly chants the Hare Krishna mantra. When he is in danger, he is immediately relieved, and when he is in a position to see Lord Vishnu or his associates directly, by chanting this Maha Mantra, he can please the Lord. If it is danger, he is relieved. Ichchatam akuto bhayam. If he is excited, if he is happy, if he is happy and he chants, he will please the Lord. Chanting will please the Lord. As Maharaj was directing us in our guided japa sessions, it is for Krishna, it is for Krishna. Japa is for Krishna. So he will please the Lord by chanting. And this is the absolute nature of the Maha Mantra. Either in danger or in happiness, it can be chanted without limitation. Thank you. So this is how Dhruva Maharaj took shelter of the holy names of the Lord just before even going to Vaikuntha. These are some reflections about Dhruva Maharaj's pastime. Now let's come to today's class. What I am supposed to discuss today. There are some reflections. You can do this after we complete our discussion. So today I am planning to discuss 3 qualities of Krishna's name. 3 qualities of Krishna's name. There are unlimited qualities of Krishna's name. And because Krishna and his name are non-different, whatever qualities Krishna has, devotee also has. As simple as that. So there are 64 qualities of Krishna. Krishna's name also can have the 64 qualities. Because abhinnatva nama naminoho. The name and the possessor of the name are non-different. But we'll discuss 3 qualities of Krishna's name based on the shloka of Sikshashtakam. Second shloka of Sikshashtakam says, Namna makari bahudha nija sarva shiktihi tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kalha. You got these sheets? Maybe you can distribute. Yeah. So what we are going to do now is, we'll recite the shloka, second shloka of Sikshashtakam, and we will learn the meaning of every single phrase of this shloka, and we'll meditate on it. For 1 hour we'll meditate on this, every single phrase of that shloka. And while going through this, we'll understand there are 3 qualities of Krishna's name revealed in this shloka. All of you know this shloka. Namna makari bahudha nija sarva shaktihi tatrarpita niyamitaha smarane na kalaha. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaiva midrishamiha jani na anuragaha. This is the shloka. Now, all of you know the shloka. Even if you have not received the sheet yet, you can just follow. First, Namna Makari Bahudha. What does it mean? The Lord has so many names, unlimited names. Namna Makari Bahudha means the Lord has unlimited names. As we are discussing, probably you can write some selected points on the sheet. So I have divided this shloka into 5 parts, 5 phrases, 5 statements, and under each statement you can write few important points there. And I have given only one shloka under each section so that it doesn't become voluminous. In our discussion we can discuss more shlokas and more pastimes and stories and insights and lessons. But just one shloka I have given so that you can carry home one shloka at least. So first part is Namna Makari Bahudha. What does it mean? Krishna has Bahudha, unlimited names, multiple names he has. All the names of Krishna can be divided into 2 categories. You can write the 2 categories on your sheet. So by the end of our 1 hour session, this paper can be full. So the Lord has multiple names. They can be divided into 2 categories. They are Mukhya Nama and Gauna Nama. Mukhya Nama means primary names. Gauna Nama means secondary names. Right? What are these Mukhya Nama? Mukhya Nama, the primary names of the Lord. Primary names of the Lord are those that describe the Lord's Swarupa, the Lord's personality, the Lord's intrinsic characteristics. Right? His own personal qualities. Right? They are called Mukhya Nama. And also these names completely represent the Lord. They are called Mukhya Nama. Understood the definition of Mukhya Nama? Second is Gauna Nama. Gauna Nama means secondary names. What are the secondary names? These secondary names of the Lord do not completely represent His personality. They don't fully describe His Swarupa. They partially describe some of His selected potencies, some of His selected activities, some of His selected qualities. Some of them are circumstantial, but they don't completely represent Him. Clear? So these are the 2 types of Krishna's names, Mukhya Nama and Gauna Nama. Let's go back to Mukhya Nama once again. This Mukhya Nama is of 2 categories, 2 types. You're able to follow, right? Simple. So Mukhya Nama has 2 more subcategories. One is Madhurya Nama, second is Aishwarya Nama. Madhurya Nama means sweet names of the Lord. They are very, very sweet. They describe Krishna's sweetness. And Aishwarya Nama are those names which are more reverential. Means they describe the Lord's majesty, grandeur, opulence. But Madhurya Nam describe Krishna's sweetness, innocence, simplicity, Vrindavan form, like that. Now let's see some examples, then things will become clear. Let's see the examples for Mukhya Madhurya Nam. Right? Means under Mukhya category, Madhurya Nam. Sweet names. Krishna is the sweetest name. Kannaya, correct? Krishna is all attractive. Govinda, one who gives pleasure to the senses and pleasure to cows. Govindam kalavenu vadana param divyanga bhusham bhaje. Govinda is doing kalavenu vadana. He is very nicely playing his flute. Muralidhar, Murali Krishna, these are all sweet names of Krishna. Radharaman, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gokulan, all our prominent deities of the Goswamis here. Radha Shyam Sundar itself. So they are all Madhurya Nam of Krishna. Then second category under the Mukhya category is Aishwarya Nam, Vasudeva is Aishwarya Nam. Vasudeva means all pervading. Vishnu, Aishwaryanam. That presents his majesty. Right? Narayana. So these are all Aishwaryanam. Many times when the devatas are offering prayers to the Lord, they mostly use this Aishwaryanam more than Madhuryanam. Once in a while they use Madhuryanam also, but they primarily use Aishwaryanam. You can read Bhagavatam. You can read Bhagavatam and go through all the prayers of devatas and other places. You will find less reference of Madhuryanam there and more reference of Aishwaryanam there, because they connect with the reverential aspect of the Lord. But Vrajavasis and some devotees who are more on this Madhurya platform or the Kevala platform, they use Krishna's intimate names like Govinda, Madhava, Krishna, Makhanchor. So Makhanchor is like is a Madhuryanam. Probably Ranchor is Aishwaryanam, I don't know. I didn't read this name specifically in the commentaries of Acharyas. By the way, I am presenting this from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary on Sikshashtakam. It's called Sanmodana Bhashya. Very beautiful commentary. So these are the Mukhya category names. Then what about Gauna? Gauna category names of the Lord present only partial aspect of his personality, like Brahma, Paramatma. Paramatma does not completely represent Krishna's Swarupa, but it's one of the names of the Lord. Oh Paramatma! Devotees glorify sometimes in some Devata prayers, you'll find. So that is a Gauna nam. Brahma, Paramatma, and Upadrashta, Anumanta probably, Srishtikarta. These are all Gauna names. Deva, Deva, yeah, maybe it can be in the this category also, Aishwarya category also. Mahabaho, okay, maybe it's presenting one aspect of the Lord's person. It's okay, we'll not have an exercise now. It's not kids class. In kids class, I'll ask people to speak. They'll only speak half, I'll speak half. So, Prema Sankirtan is possible only by chanting the Madhuryanam or Mukhyanam. In Gaunanam there is no Prem Sankirtan. So when you are aspiring for Krishna Prema in the under umbrella of Gaudiya Vaishnava principles, by chanting Gaunanams we cannot get Krishna Prema. By chanting Madhuryanam and Mukhyanam only we can get Krishna Prema. Right? Therefore we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So understood? The first phrase of this shloka, that is Namna Makari Bahudha, Mukhyanam, Gaunanam. Then second phrase of this shloka is Nija Sarva Shaktihi Tatrarpita. Means, Nija means the Lord's own, Sarva means all, Shakti means powers. Tatra Arpita means the Lord has invested, the Lord has offered. Arpita means to offer, to invest, to bestow. Tatra means these names. The Lord has given all his powers, all the powers in the Swarupa, the personality of the Lord are invested in the names of the Lord. Which names? Mukhya names, not Gauna names, by the way. That has to be clear. So the Lord has personally invested all the aspects or features of his personality in his Mukhya names. Therefore, the holy name of Krishna is powerful. That's the first quality of Krishna's name, according to this shloka. Clear? I'll elaborate this later, but I'll go to the second quality immediately. Let's give the list of the qualities first. Second, Niyamitaha smaranena kalaha. Right? Niyamita means there is a rule, there is a prescription, there is a policy, there is a protocol. That is called niyama. Niyamitaha smaranena kalaha. There are no protocols or policies or rules or regulations or restrictions or prescriptions or prohibitions in chanting the names of the Lord, in remembering the names of the Lord. Anytime you can remember, anytime you can chant. So the holy name is most accessible. That is the second quality of holy name. Clear? First quality is the holy name is all powerful. Second quality, the holy name is always accessible. Third quality, Etadrishi tava kripa Bhagavan. Oh Bhagavan, Etadrishi tava kripa, you have bestowed such great mercy upon us. What is that mercy? You have given us access to holy names. You have made the names as powerful as you. That is your mercy. So, the holy name of the Lord, which is non-different from Krishna, is all merciful. That is the third quality. In short, the three qualities of Krishna's names described in this shloka are: holy name of Krishna is powerful, accessible, and merciful. The last point. Mamapi durdaiva midrishamiha janinna anuragaha. Although you have given all this to us, durdaivam. Keywords in this phrase are durdaivam, anuraga. Durdaiva means my misfortune. My greatest misfortune is janina anuraga. I don't have attraction to chanting the names of the Lord. I don't have the taste. I don't have the natural taste that a young boy has to associate with a young girl, or young girl has to associate with a young boy. I don't have the natural attraction that iron particles has towards a magnet. So I don't have that taste. Morning we were hearing from Maharaj at Govardhan Valley. So there is no taste. Why there is no taste? Because of aparats. Maharaj has explained very elaborately. Aparats. Now let's go back and revisit. I think Namnamakari Bahuda we sufficiently discussed. Let's go to the first quality. Nija sarva shaktihi tattararpita. The holy names are very powerful. How powerful? We have already discussed in one of the previous sessions. Etan nirvidyamananam ichchatam akuto bhayam. So holy name is so powerful that it can destroy all your fears. That's the power of the holy name. Now, holy name can destroy all our sins. Yesterday we discussed. You have that sheet? Yesterday, you can give me also one sheet if you have. Vepante duritani moha mahima sammohamalambate. In that we have seen so many powers of the holy name. Vepante duritani. You remember what is it? Vepante duritani? All sins are destroyed.
They tremor and run away.
They tremble. Then second is moha mahima sammohamalambate. What does it mean? The illusory energy becomes illusioned, or scared, or bewildered. So the holy name of the Lord, the power of the holy name of the Lord is so much that it can bewilder the bewildering energy. Just like you see in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, Brahma came to confuse or to test Krishna, right? To bewilder Krishna. But he himself is bewildered. Similarly, when Maya comes to bewilder a devotee who is chanting the holy names of the Lord, Maya itself will get bewildered. The so-called illusion will get bewildered. So, other powers we discussed. Now, let's discuss this one shloka. So, by chanting the holy name of the holy name of the Lord is so powerful that it can destroy our fears, our sins, our illusions, and many other things. Right? But the holy name of the Lord can even give us liberation. We don't want it, but it will give. Right? By the way, sometimes devotees say, liberation, I don't want. Muktim dadati karichitnam samana bhakti yogam. Yes, devotees don't want liberation. Sometimes sadhaka bhaktas also say, I reject liberation. To reject something, you should have it first. Right? Sadhaka bhakta is not yet liberated, by the way. Only a bhava bhakta is liberated. For you, if we want to make that statement, I reject liberation, we should perform sadhana bhakti very nicely. We should come to the level of bhava bhakti and we should get liberated and we should say, I reject liberation. Right? Till we attain liberation, how can we reject liberation? We are not liberated yet. Some of you may be, but I am not. So at sadhana bhakti stage, liberation does not manifest. That manifests in the bhava bhakti stage, then one can reject. Right? But holy name will give liberation, which is a part of the package, which may not be very interesting to a devotee, but it will give. This is the shloka. Let's recite this shloka. Madhura madhura metan mangalam mangalanam. Madhura madhura metan mangalam mangalanam. Sakala nigama valli satphalam chitsvarupam. Sakala Nigamavalli Satphalam Chitsvarupam Sakritapi Parigitam Shraddhaya Helayava Bhruguvara Naramatram Tarayet Krishna Nama. The meaning of this shloka is very simple. Madhura Madhura Metan. The holy name of Krishna is Madhura. How Madhura it is? It is the sweetest of all sweet things. Madhura Madhura Metan. Mangalam Mangalanam. Of all auspicious things, the most auspicious path is chanting the holy names of Krishna. Sakala Nigamavalli Satphalam Chitsvarupam. Sakala Nigama, you compare all the scriptures with a valli, with a creeper. And holy name of the Lord is Satphalam, ripened fruit of that creeper. Chitsvarupam, it's totally spiritual. Just like Bhagavatam is compared to the ripened fruit of the desire tree of all Vedic literatures. And holy name of Krishna is compared to a ripened fruit of this creeper of all the scriptures. So we are here in Sharanagati retreat to discuss the glories of Bhagavatam and holy name. Both are fruits. But this is fruit of desire tree, this is fruit of the creeper of all scriptures. Sakala Nigamavalli Satphalam Chitsvarupam Sakridapi Parigitam Shraddhaya Helayava. Sakridapi, even once, Parigitam, chant, if you chant the holy names of Krishna, Shraddhaya, either with faith, Helayava, even with neglect. Sakridapi Parigitam Shraddhaya Helayava. Whether you chant the holy name of Krishna, either with neglect or with eagerness, still. Bhruguvara Naramatram Tarayet Krishna Nama. Krishna Nam is Tarayet. It will liberate us. It will easily liberate us. So that is one aspect of chanting of the holy name. And in this way you can glorify Krishna's holy name's power in unlimited ways. Holy name is powerful. One more shloka. Alam alam alameka praninam patakanam nirasana vishayeya Krishna Krishneti vani yedi bhavati mukunde bhaktirananda sandra karatala kalitasa moksha samrajya lakshmi. Alam alam alameka praninam patakanam. Pranis in this world, human beings in this world, they have so many patakas. But holy name of Krishna can destroy all patakas, all sins. Alam 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 eka praninam patakanam nirasana vishayeya Krishna Krishneti vani. Krishna, Krishna, this vani, this sound, Krishna, can completely destroy all the sins. Sakritapi Parigitam. Even if you chant once, it can give you liberation. Krishna Krishneti vani. Yedi bhavati mukunde bhaktirananda sandra. By chanting the names of Krishna, you will enter into bhaktirananda sandra. Bhakti is like an ocean of bliss, ananda. Sandra means condensed ocean. So by chanting the holy names of Krishna, one can enter into the condensed ocean of bliss, spiritual bliss. And at that stage, where you are experiencing the bliss of Ananda, Adhyatmika Ananda, spiritual happiness by chanting the names of the Lord, then Karatala Kalitasa Moksha Samrajya Lakshmi. The Moksha Samrajya Lakshmi, the greatest opulence of the kingdom of liberation, is there in your hands. Karatala. Right? It becomes very easy, effortless for one to attain liberation. Actually, the Ananda of being a servant of Krishna is so unlimited that even unlimited happiness of Brahmananda is insignificant in comparison to even a drop of Bhakti Ananda. You want proof? Go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Dasa Abhimane Ananda Sindhu Koti Brahma Sukha Nahe Tara Eka Bindu. Krishna Dasa Abhimana, the Abhiman, the conception or the emotion of being a servant of Krishna can immerse us in an ocean of Ananda. In comparison to this Ananda, in comparison to a drop of this Ananda, Koti Brahma Sukha Nahe Tara Eka Bindu. You multiply Brahmananda with 1 koti. Koti means 10 million, 1 crore. That is insignificant. You put 1 crore times of Brahmananda on one side of this balance, and you put 1 drop of Bhakti-ananda here. It will weigh more. That's what the shloka says. That is the power of holy name. Let's go to the second quality. That is accessible. How accessible the holy name is. Okay, let's also discuss some stories connected to each of these 3 qualities. Mrigari was a sinful hunter, cruel hunter. He takes pleasure in the pain of half-dead animals. Such cruelty. To cut the long story short, Narada Muni told him, give up this sinful activity of killing animals. Break your bow first. Then Mrigari said, how can I break my bow? It's a source of my livelihood. How can I break the source of my livelihood? Source of livelihood? The source of livelihood is Krishna. Krishna created a perfect arrangement in this world. If you take shelter of Krishna, He will definitely supply food. Chant the holy names of Krishna, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you will definitely get your food. Narada Muni said. Somehow, by the divine presence of Narada Muni, this cruel hunter experienced a heart transformation and he broke his bow. So holy name has to be received from a devotee. So he broke his bow. He became a saintly person. He distributed all the wealth that he has acquired to some brahmanas. He started living in a simple cottage along with his wife. He planted a tulsi plant in front of his home. He chanted Hare Krishna constantly. Seeing his saintly demeanor, all the people in the village were daily presenting so many grains and fruits and vegetables and other food items to Mrigari and his family, that although there are 2 people in his home, he was getting the food of 10-20 people every day. He is getting overwhelmed. I need livelihood, but not so much, not 10 times more than what I require. That's the power of holy name. Holy name has Palana Shakti. Palana Shakti means the power of maintenance. Just like Krishna maintains his devotees, holy name of Krishna also maintains the devotees. That is the power of holy name. Second quality, accessible. How accessible holy name is. Tatrarpita niyamitaha smarane na kalaha. There are no time restrictions. There are no policies or protocols. Anytime you can chant the holy names of the Lord, you will experience the same efficacy in proportion to our absorption. Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvavasthangato piva yaha smaret pundarikaksham sabahya bhyantara suchi. Once inside and outside is completely cleansed, completely purified by smaran, by doing smaran of the Supreme Lord. Same thing is mentioned. Tatrarpita niyamitaha smarane na kalaha. There is no restriction about remembering the Lord. So, you see, I have given some 5 words here. Time, place, person, situation, purity. Maybe as a part of activity you can reflect on it, but I'll just slightly touch. Time. You get up in the middle of the night, you have some severe headache, or some dogs are barking outside, you could not sleep, or mosquitoes are biting you, you could not sleep, you got up. Can you enter the DT room and start worshipping the Shaligram or Govardhan Shila? No, you can pick up your bead bag and chant, right? So, even in the middle of the night, middle of the day, at any time one can chant. Of course, that does not mean, we can chant at any time. That does not mean we miss the glorious golden opportunity to chant the rounds in Brahma Muhurta time. So it's a recommendation that we chant early in the morning, but if someone misses that slot, that does not mean He cannot chant at other times, he can chant at any time. So 4:30 Mangalarti if you miss, no more Mangalarti till the next day. Right? 12:30 Rajbhog Arti if you miss, no more Rajbhog Arti till the next day. When the darshan is closed, no more darshan till it opens again. But holy name, darshan is never closed. Holy name, whole 24/7, it's accessible to us. Right? The most accessible form of Krishna is Namavatar. Then place. Where do we chant? Where can we chant? Should we chant only in temple? Should we chant only in a clean room? See, if the surroundings are very dirty, should we not chant? We can chant at any place. That does not mean we deliberately keep our surroundings dirty. That's not the message here. But even if they happen to be dirty, you can chant. So somebody gets admitted in a hospital. 10 days in the hospital. What is the ambience there? All medicines are there and different injections and stethoscopes and different testing equipments, and nurses are moving around, and so many patients are there. They are painful, and their visitors are coming, their family members are coming. In such an ambience, should we chant? You can chant, not a problem. And person who can chant, only Brahmana should chant, or only sannyasi should chant? Anybody from any background can chant. So there's no restriction on the person. Then situation. Some people ask, especially in our new classes, new satsang programs, some people ask, somebody died in our family. Should we chant in the next 11 days? We are not supposed to do any pujas. We should not go to temple. Should we not chant also? You can chant. You can chant as many rounds as you can during these 11 days, during the 11 years, for the rest of your life. And for the rest of eternity you can chant. So there's no problem with the situation. Whether you are in distress or you are in happiness, you can chant. That's what we saw in Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada is writing, whether you are happy or distressful, you can always chant. Then purity. To do tapa, japa, tapa, homa, and some vigraharadhan. So all these traditional Vedic processes, Vedic study, some purity, some prerequisite is expected from the person who is doing that activity. Anybody and everybody is not admitted into the process of deity worship. Okay, you can enter the temple and then worship the Garbhagriha and dress the deities. No one is admitted immediately without having certain prerequisites. But who can chant? Anybody can chant the holy name. So purity, pure background is not a mandatory item. In fact, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is just profusely distributing holy name anywhere and everywhere. So purity is not expected. That's why there is a sloka. You can recite this. Nadesha kala niyamo na shaucha shaucha nirnayah param sankirtana deva Rama Rameti Muchyate. Na desha kala niyamo. So there are no restrictions on desha, place, kala, time. Shaucha nirnayaha. Clean place or unclean place, clean person or unclean person. For example, somebody is sick. He gets up in the morning, he cannot take a bath immediately. For whatever reason, he has fever. Doctor told, hey, don't take bath today. Should I chant? Can I chant without taking bath? You can chant, no problem. Even without taking bath, you can chant. Not that you deliberately do that. Circumstantially, if one happens to be in a situation where he cannot immediately take a bath for some physical reasons, whether it is cold or sickness or some other cause, or they're traveling, for example, they're traveling overnight, flight is there, 17 hours flight, where will they take bath? So they can always chant at any time. So then, Param Sankirtana Deva Ramaramechi Muchyate. So irrespective of under what conditions one chants, one can always attain Krishna's love, Krishna's grace. Let's discuss a story in connection to this quality. Once, a devotee in Jagannath Puri, he is constantly accustomed to chanting the holy names of Krishna. His tongue would not stop only. So one day, he had to attend nature call. So he was going to a place where he can attend his nature call, but his tongue is not stopping chanting only. So he was holding the tongue between his teeth. Some say that he was holding his tongue between his fingers so that he wouldn't chant while doing that dirty activity. Right? One little kid saw, small child saw him and said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm trying to restrain myself from chanting the holy names of Krishna because I came to this filthy place." And this boy asked, "What if you die now? What if death takes place while you are passing water or passing urine or passing stool? You will die without chanting Krishna's names." Death can come at any time. Therefore, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, you can always chant, internally or externally. Either on beats or off beats, you can always chant. So somehow Mahaprabhu came to hear this interaction, what this boy spoke to this man. Then Mahaprabhu said, "This boy, this Gopal, his name is Gopal, he's playing the role of a guru. He's teaching everyone to chant the holy names of the Lord. From today he's called Gopal Guru." Right? So no restrictions in chanting. Third quality. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan. Krishna is so merciful. So holy names are also so merciful. Let's discuss one little shloka. Atayeva nama matra vaishnavera dharma name prasphutita haya rupa guna karma Krishnera samagra lila name vidyamana. You see, this quality is that how the holy name is so merciful. Before I discuss this shloka from Harinam Chintamani, let me present a shloka from Srimad-Bhagavatam. This is from the first prayer of Prachetas. The shloka says, what was the first prayer of Prachetas? Namo namaha klesha vinashanaya nirupito dara guna vayaya mano vacho vega purojavaya sarvaksha margai ragata dhvane namaha. Namo namaha klesha vinashanaya. The Supreme Lord is known to destroy all the kleshas, all the difficulties in the lives of devotees. Nirupita udara guna vayaya. It has been proved, this conclusion has been settled. What is that conclusion? What is proved here? Udara guna ahvayaya. Guna means Krishna's qualities. Ahvaya means Krishna's names. Udara means they are very magnanimous. So Krishna's names are extremely magnanimous. And this conclusion has been proved in the scriptures and the universal spiritual history. Krishna is very merciful. Krishna's names are very merciful. And the best example for this is Avjamil episode. Ajamil was chanting Narayana, 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 Narayana to call his child Narayana. And that boy Narayana is just sitting somewhere and then he's playing with his toys or doing something else. And he's chanting Narayana and this boy has no developed sense to understand the emotions of his father. My father is calling me in so much pain, with so much emotion, with so much love and affection. The boy did not have the ability to understand. He's a small child. The father is in pain and the child is unable to understand. But the Supreme Father understood. Krishna thought. He said Narayana. And he's calling this boy, I understand. But he said Narayana. But is the boy Narayana? No. I am Narayana. Therefore I should respond. So boy is not responding because he is not Narayana. I am Narayana, therefore I should respond. Whether he intended to call me or not, he said my name. And I am Narayana. And Narayana is not different from the name Narayana. Therefore Narayana responded. He never called you. That's okay. He said my name. And my name and me are same. Okay? And that boy is not Narayana anyways. I am Narayana. So let me go and protect him. The Lord is so desperate to give us mercy that directly or indirectly, whether we consciously or unconsciously call him, he will show mercy upon us. So that's why the Lord is so merciful. Name is so merciful. I'll come back to Ajam a little later. Let's discuss this shloka. Atayeva nama matra vaishnavera dharma. So this shloka says, nama matra vaishnavera dharma. The dharma of a Vaishnav The duty of a Vaishnava is Nama Matra, means just chant the holy names of Krishna. You don't have to do anything else. Even if you are incapable of doing anything, yes, definitely Bhagavatam study and Dham Darshan and all these things will facilitate our absorption in bhakti, undoubtedly. We are not belittling or minimizing any other potent form of bhakti at all. But there may be some individuals who may not have the ability to study Shastras. Right? They may not be able to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. They may not know English or Hindi or Sanskrit or anything. They may be illiterate. Or some people may be very old. They may not be able to travel to a Dham. If they do Govardhan Parikrama for 3-4 hours, they will collapse for the next 2-3 days. They may not have the physical ability to do. They are very old or very fragile, or they have some back pain or leg pain or something like that. Or people may not be able to elaborately worship the deities because of old age or some other physical problem or sickness. So, although there are 5 potent forms of bhakti, Vaishnava Seva, another potent form, one may not be in a position to always serve the Vaishnavas. Right? So, all the 5 potent forms of bhakti are there. The accessibility of holy name of Krishna is more, even for those people who are unable to perform the other 4 limbs of bhakti, or other 63 limbs of bhakti. Or other 8 processes of bhakti. Circumstantially, because of physical constraints or other constraints, people may not be able to participate in other limbs of bhakti. But this one, even on deathbed, one can chant Krishna, 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 Krishna. Even if they can't chant the full mantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra completely, it's Krishna, Rama, some name. If they chant, they can chant. They are able to chant. At least even if they cannot utter, within the mind it can ring Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Right? So it is most accessible. That's why Atayera Vaishnavera Atayeva Nama Matra Vaishnavera Dharma. Second line. Nama Prasputatahaya Rupa Guna Karma. Atayeva Nama Matra Vaishnavera Dharma. Name Prasputitahaya Rupa Guna Karma. That Nama Prasphutitahaya Rupa Guna Karma. Rupa means the form of the Lord. Guna means qualities of the Lord. Karma means leelas, activities of the Lord. So that Nama will give us entrance into Rupa, Guna and Leela. That is the power of holy name. That is the mercy of holy name. So if somebody, if you go to some shopping mall and they will give some coupon of 100 rupees. Okay, you can go and take anything from our shop. 100 rupees free coupon. If you go and take some item which is costing 1000 rupees or 10,000 rupees with this 100 rupee coupon, will they give? No. Anything you pick up within 100. 70 rupees, 80 rupees chalega, like not beyond 100, they will say. But here we are chanting only one Naam, right? Naam of Krishna. But that Naam, Krishna, 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 that Naam will give us entrance into Rupa of Krishna, Guna of Krishna, Leela of Krishna. Leela is so elaborate, Naam is so compact. Gunas are unlimited, Naam is very, very compact. Krishna, only 2 syllables. That's all. Rupa, like when you have to chant, say Krishna, done. When you have to decorate the deities, dress the deities, my God, you have to put dhoti, you have to put kurta, you have to put uttariya, you have to put so many necklaces and jewelry all over the body, earrings and turban. Tying turban will take 1 year for some people or 1 hour for some people. Right? It's very elaborate. Many times darshans become delayed. You can ask seasoned deity worshippers why there is delay today. Kalakar, Pujari is a Kalakar. So he is taking more time to tie turban, peacock feather. So it takes a lot of time. So Rupa is elaborate. Barha Pidam Natavarapu, you can just go through Bhagavatam shlokas where Krishna's Rupa is described very elaborately. But this one Nama Krishna can give us entrance into Rupa, Guna, Leela. My God, it's so magnanimous. With 100 rupee coupon, of course we are not comparing Krishna Naam with 100 rupee coupon, by the way. But I am just saying that it is so simple. Chanting the name of the Lord is so simple, simpler than dressing a deity, simpler than studying a scripture, simpler than going through the 64 qualities of Krishna described by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Simpler than. Hare Krishna. I can't shout. What's the time now? 6:20.
Sound system.
Hare Krishna. We have a portable sound system now. Can you hear me? Those devotees at the end?
Yes.
And the chairs? Hare Krishna. So, this Nam will give us entrance into Rupa, Guna and Leela. That's what this shloka says. So, Krishnera Samagra Leela Name Vidyamana. Samagra Leela means all the pastimes of Krishna are revealed to you when you chant the holy names of Krishna sincerely. Without reading Bhagavatam also. I am not belittling the importance of reading Bhagavatam. I myself am a big fan of Bhagavatam. But still, the holy name is so merciful that even if somebody is unable to study elaborate scriptures and understand the finer nuances of scriptures, holy name of Krishna will reveal all the pastimes of the Lord that are described in the scriptures, right? So that is the power of holy name. Then last point, now I'll conclude at 6:30. Mamapi durdaiva midrishamiha jani na anuragaha. All the holy name is powerful, merciful and accessible. Still, our durdaivam, our misfortune is na anuragaha. There is no taste. We don't have sufficient taste. Why? Because of offenses. Actually, Maharaj has given an elaborate class on this in the afternoon. I don't need to elaborate at all. We'll conclude with this one little shloka there. Namaparadha yuktanam namanyeva harantyagam avishranti prayuktani tanyevartha karanicha. So how to overcome this namaparad? By chanting the names of the Lord. So this morning in Japatak we were hearing from His Holiness Sajananda Swami Maharaj. Hearing will lead to more hearing. Chanting will lead to more chanting. If you want to perfectly do worship, continue to worship. If you want to nicely hear, continue to hear. You want to understand Bhagavatam, continue to read Bhagavatam. If you want to nicely chant, chant. Continue to chant. So how to overcome offenses in chanting? Continue to chant. Hare Krishna. If a patient says, I will not take medicine, and you ask, why are you not taking medicine? He says, I am sick, therefore I am not taking medicine. Does it make any sense? I am so sick, therefore I am unable to take medicine. If a patient says like this, it doesn't make any sense. Similarly, if a sadhaka or if a conditioned soul says, I am so conditioned, therefore I am unable to chant. I am so distracted, therefore I am unable to chant. I am so offensive, therefore I am unable to chant. Because you are offensive, because you are conditioned, because you are merciful, you have to chant. This is the medicine. That's what we need to communicate. That's what we need to communicate ourselves first. So by chanting one can overcome aparads, unknown offenses, as Maharaj said. Maharaj divided offenses into two, knowingly and unknowingly. So unknown offenses can be overcome, but knowingly, deliberately, if somebody commits offenses, then repeated chanting may not eradicate that. But we need to pray. Morning we have heard elaborately. I think I'll conclude here. I'll now request Sachinandan Swami Maharaj to speak a few words, comments, blessings, so that
Hare Krishna, can I just first ask the question? Where do we find this very, very good verse? Deva Mamamartha Vaishnavya Dham.
Hari Bhakti Vilas.
Hari Bhakti Vilas. Acha. chapter or, the 11th vilas of...
Second chapter.
Oh, good. Fine, yeah. Krishna, thank you.
That's much better.
Yeah, this was again a very wonderful shloka, class, and I'm very happy to hear this verse from Prabhupada. How Dhruva, at the very end of his life, when he was so bewildered by seeing the Vaikuntha airplane, how he chanted and that created. That created. By the way, I want to say to Dasa, we are Vrindavana. Vrindavana means unexpected circumstances. You come from a very highly developed Gauranga village. We are villagers here. So, this is to be expected in Raj, no problem.
For about a decade, in northern village, we have power cut throughout one day. That's the
Oh, so you are. Good. So, I just want to contribute to this wonderful session one point. There is what we call a cognitive dissonance for most of us. That is, although we hear about the amazing results of chanting, although we hear that the name is powerful and accessible and merciful, and we have faith in it based on the wonderful shlokas and wonderful examples in our own cognition, experience, there is something else going on. We may be unconcentrated when we chant and have a little taste. During the kirtan, we don't feel the ecstasy, is a big word, joy. We may not feel the joy and all this, and this is, as far as I know, a cognitive dissonance. It's a big problem for us, and we should know how we can solve this. One recommendation, both from the Padma Purana and from Sanatana Goswami, is to just continue chanting. But Sanatana Goswami offers a very, very important side sentence to this. It's not just continue the way you chanted, it is continue with Nam Sharanam, taking shelter at the holy name. It is said in the Bhagavatam, when Lord Krishna went with Nanda Baba and the Brajbasis to Ambika Kalna, we hear that is somewhere in the area of Madhuban, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, to worship Lord Shiva. A terrible accident happened. Nanda Maharaj, in the midst of the night, was attacked by a snake and devoured by it. Now the cowherd men heard his cries for help and came, and they took burning logs of wood to attack the snake, but the snake was so powerful, it just continued swallowing. We have here seen at Govardhan, crossing the road, a python, which was also so big that it could definitely swallow Gauranga Darsana and Sachidananda Swami together. It was huge. So Nanda Maharaj saw my cowherd friends, although very experienced cowherders who protect their herds from dangerous snakes and so on, are powerless here. And he chanted, so he understood there's no use, so he began to chant the names of Krishna. And Krishna, Krishna, Mahaprabhu. But he, being the father of Krishna, had to learn also to chant with the mood of full surrender to Krishna. You know, he used to say many times, Krishna, Krishna, and call him Gopal, come here, bring my shoes, and so on. But now, when he was in danger, he needed to change and chant with full surrender. It was a different situation, calling his boy to bring the butter pot or to bring something or to sit down with him. It was calling for him for his protection in a dangerous situation, and with sharanagati. And of course he did so. And then Krishna came and happened. It is a recurring theme. You cannot just chant Krishna's name in an offhanded way, perhaps like you call a waiter in a restaurant, come here, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You do need to add to your chanting a particular quality that is surrender. For me, as someone who is trying to present the Hare Krishna mantra chanting wherever I can go and invited, it is clear to me that the holy name demands surrender. For instance, even when I'm tired or not tired, if I'm asked to chant, I never say no. I surrender to the holy name. Or when we chant, and in the beginning, I must say, because I'm not a good chanter by no means, it is difficult for me. Sometimes it's so hard, and to be very honest, I'm also have a very private side to myself where I do not really, little shy before audiences of big magnitudes and so on. And I cannot immediately access the holy name because I'm distracted and covered and so on. But I always know now I need to surrender. Or sometimes we preach till early in the morning. In the West, people are up in the evening and the night, as you know as a preacher. So we come late to bed and then, we get up and we are tired. We feel as if someone has beaten us the whole night. We feel so bad. But I always think, let me now first sit down and chant, although it is difficult. And I have seen over the years these statements of chant with taking surrender, with surrender, only then it works. Only then the holy name reveals itself in this cognitive dissonance from which we suffer. That is, we hear one thing and experience another. It will disappear. We think, wow, it's all true. Aber wanted to bring this point from this morning also when Sanatana Goswami says, the Padma Purana explains, just continue chanting and then the effects of Namaparad will leave you. But Sanatana Goswami tells as the, I think he is the guru for Sambandha, for making connection. He says, we must take shelter in the holy name. It's really like, I'm sorry, I'm so bad. Please give me shelter. Then the holy name responds. This is very important, my dear devotees. You need to learn how to take shelter at the holy name. Not just chant mindlessly, absent-mindedly, without going into the depths, without just with your physical body, without the involvement of your mind and your emotions and yourself. It will take thousands, millions of births before you can taste anything if you don't make that switch in the consciousness. Sorry, was it all right, or was I I'm a little insistent here because this cognitive dissonance is a huge problem in spiritual life. Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Should we take questions now or do this reflection? What is the
Question and answers could be a way of reflecting and churning the subject matter. It's up to you, Gauranga Darsana.
Maybe we can take questions, Maharaj, because I did not take in the morning also, yesterday also, somehow we didn't get time.
100%.
This is homework for you. Any questions or comments? If nobody has questions, then you can do this. Yes, Mother. Yeah, you can.
Hi Krishna, thank you so much. I'm just interested to know your personal perspective on when somebody has more taste for some other devotional service other than the holy name. Let's say devotion, or maybe vandana, offering prayers, or how do you see this?
We discussed, I think yesterday or maybe yesterday, Mahaprabhu was saying that other limbs of bhakti, other 8 processes of bhakti are not complete without kirtana. If somebody is more into deity worship or Bhagavat Shravan, naturally there is some involvement of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Those who are doing Shodashopachara Puja or Shaligram Puja or Manas Puja, there is a lot of, even while doing Achaman also you have to chant the holy names of the Lord. So holy name is an integral part in all the other potent limbs of bhakti. But there is a stage in one's life where one may not be able to actively do deity worship because of some natural physical illness or old age. So at that time the devotee who has been actively doing the deity worship will chant primarily, and other limb one may allow others to do, other devotees to do. Same thing with Bhagavatam study or Dham Darshan or Vaishnava Seva. So, but holy name can be chanted till the fag end of life, even on deathbed. So that's most accessible form, that's the whole thing. So if somebody in youth and with a healthy body, if they have the ability to do other limbs more, at least basic quota of chanting of 16 notes must be done. So you can just read Bhagavatam for 8 hours and chant for 2 hours. You can do deity worship for 10 hours and then do chanting for 16 rounds for 2 hours. But ultimately we have to take shelter of holy name. Does it make sense? Maharaj, you want to add anything?